Now, I'm sure you've noticed that when you're searching for something online, you never land on a business's homepage or an About Us page. You always land on the product page or something describing a certain element of a product. So you see, the way that works is a search engine takes the search terms the client used and then scans the main elements of a web page. And this is where the blog becomes really useful. So you can dedicate a whole page or an article directly to an element of a product. And that creates a better opportunity for you to become a search result of a search query. We can write anything we want to in a blog. It can be client experiences, certain elements of a product, or charity work that we did. Really, we're not limited inside a blog. There's no really wrong thing that you can do. Now, before we start writing a blog, we should actually know the categories that we're going to put our articles into. So that's why I'm going to split up this into two videos. The first one is going to be categories, and the second one is going to be the post itself. Now, categories is something you really should think about. Now, it's not that important to have categories, but it is helpful to sort out all the different articles into the different sections. That way, you can display certain articles in different sections of your website or inside a product. Okay, so now let's head into our WordPress backend. So now if we head over to posts, in the pop-up menu, we can select categories. In here, you'll see the category called uncategorized. Now this is a default category. We don't really want this, so we're going to be replacing this with our own one. I'm going to call my category industry related. When creating a new category, I put in the name industry related. It's the name of the category I'm going to create. And the parent, I'm going to say none because I want this to be the parent category. And then all I have to do is say add new category. The cool thing about categories is we can make subcategories if we want. So as an example, I'm going to make the subcategory called tips. And the parent is going to be industry related. And just like that, I have a subcategory. So now when I'm creating posts, I can put them into the tips category, or I can put them into the industry related parent category, depending on what I'm writing. Or I can just put it into another subcategory. In the future, if I wanted to, I could come back to this posts category screen and I can create a new subcategory under industry related. Now, it doesn't always have to be a subcategory. I can make a new parent category. I don't even have to have subcategories at all. But it's good to have these options to nicely divide all our posts. Now, there is no real rules here. It is your blog and you can create your categories however you wish. You can even have all your posts just under one main category. But the choice is completely up to you. So now that we have these beginning categories, I don't want to have that uncategorized category. I want to remove it. Uncategorized is the default blog category. Now, we don't want that. I want my default to be industry related. So in order to change this, we have to go to settings and writing. The default post category right at the top is still set to uncategorized. I'm going to set mine to industry related, and you would obviously set yours to whatever category you had created. Once you've done that, just go to the bottom of the screen and say save changes. Now if we go back to posts categories, you will see that now when we hover over uncategorized, we can delete it. Now before we couldn't do that because it was our default. So now the industry related is our default. When I hover over that, you can see I don't have the option to delete. That's why we changed our default. So now let's get rid of uncategorized. And there we go. Now if there was any posts that were in that category when we deleted it, then they would automatically go into the new default category. Now if you don't want that to happen, then you'd have to go into each post and then select the new categories you want that post to be assigned to, which I'll show you later when we're actually creating a new post. Now categories don't have to stay in the order that you created them in. You can make a subcategory a main category and a main category a subcategory, or you can just have all of them as main categories. In order to change, say, my tips to a main category, I'd hover over it and then click on the edit that would pop up underneath the name. Inside this new screen, on the third line down, you see parent category. I can change that to none and click update. So now when I go back to my categories, you can see that it's no longer a subcategory of industry related. Now if I wanted to change it back, I can go into edit, go back into parent category and say industry related, and then say update. And now it's a subcategory of industry related. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about categories. You survived. So now that you're ready to make a blog post, I'm going to guide you through that relatively simple process. I'll see you in part 2. It takes the search there. What am I doing? Is that the search engine client experiences with products, or maybe some charity work you didn't even invent or anything. I'm going to show you the relativity. So now that you're ready to make a blog post, in the next video, I'm going to show you how that is done. Why is this so hard? I have this written down. So now that you're ready to make a blog, in the next video, I'm going to show you how that is done. How is that done? Make a blog post. In the next video, I'm going to show you how that's done. Done. Why can't I say the bloody words? So now that you're ready to make the blog, I'm going to show you that I'm going to die.